Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there.
What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. There is that.
Hello and welcome to Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads. If this is your first time joining us, we are a half-hour chat show where Mr. Newly Dad and I talk about a movie that we've watched. If this is not your first time, welcome back. We appreciate you joining us each week. And if this is not your a regular show and you've just watched it a couple of times, we also appreciate that as well. But if you are just now joining us and you want to find out who the heck are the Newly Dads, you can find information about us, our show, all of the things that we do on our website. It's thenewlydads.com. On that site, you can find information about, like I said, this show. We also do a show called Sinister Snacks on YouTube. Mr. Newly Dad does unboxing videos. He also uploads older shows from Dollar Store Drive-In called Dollar Store Drive-In Classics, and that's every single Friday. He'll upload those. So if you want to get caught up, you want to watch all the weird stuff that we talk about, all the weird movies we've watched over the last 3 years. Wow. 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah, we're almost at episode 160.
That's amazing. You can go to that site and find the information. We're also artists, and so occasionally we do, we do one market every single year. It's called the Witches Market, and it's located here. We're in the Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin area. So it's located at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Belvedere. It's put on by Wolf Hollow Events, and we just cannot say enough good things about that. So it's in October, the very first weekend. I know it's only May right now, June, beginning of summer 2026, but you can find it. It's always the first weekend in October. So please come visit us if you want to. We do lots of different kinds of art. Mr. Newly Dad creates lots of digital prints and digital art pieces. Sometimes we do physical media, watercolors, things like that. I am starting a stationery business called the Mrs. Newly Dad's Witchinary Shop. So that's a brand new thing that I just started. And I also do wooden painting kind of things, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to do a couple of art polls and stuff like that. So anyways, that's enough about that. We're here to talk about a movie, and to keep all of our shows on the same wavelength and even keel, we have some criteria for the movies. So all of the movies that we watch need to be under $5. They need to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie, and it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before. This week, we watched a movie called Bloody Homecoming. We found that out in the wild, is what we like to say. We found it at a place called Hidden Treasures. We found a lot of things, and you'll see some of our old episodes, we talk a lot about Hidden Treasures. It's located in Machesney Park, Illinois, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road from us, 20 minutes. So it's super close to Rockford, where we're located. But it's a huge antique mall, I would say flea market-y, not flea market, but a antique mall, really. Is what it is. Yeah. So we would always recommend going there because they've got stuff from vintage things. They've got antique stuff, all different kinds of things. And there are some people who are crafters and makers and all sorts of stuff. So
Aisles of Smiles.
Very cool. I'm sure Mr. Newly Dad has already put up the information about Hidden Treasures, but that is where we found our movie this week.
Do you know we're located firmly in the cheese belt?
We are located in the I would say lower cheese belt. Southern cheese.
Oh.
Spicy down here.
That's our band name, Southern Cheese.
Southern Cheese. No, that'd be really funny, actually. But like I said, we watched a movie called Bloody Homecoming, Come Home to Terror. So I'm going to read the synopsis. Once I reread the synopsis, then I will usher it over to Mr. Newly Dead, where he's going to pop in the trailer. We're going to watch the trailer with you guys, and then we will be back to discuss the movie and what our thoughts are on it. So, ready? I forgot to do that. All right. It's an old school slasher done right, it says from the author of the Slasher movie book. Okay. A group of seniors anxiously prepare for homecoming night in the sleepy town of Winston. 3 years after a tragic accident left a student dead at the annual dance, they find themselves haunted by a deadly visitor from their past. Unable to bury old demons, it looks like it's finally payback time and someone's out for blood. Before the night is over, the halls will run red as they are stalked, staked, and butchered by a relentless, savage killer bent on revenge. They must stop whoever's hunting them, or this year's dance is going to be a killer. Yep. It sounds interesting.
It sounded interesting.
It sounded interesting. But yeah, so we're going to watch the trailer. But before we do that, Mr. Newly Dead always likes to pop in a little fun segue into the trailer. And usually it's in the form of whatever I kind of tell him to put up. Let's see. This is from 2013, right?
Yep.
Ooh, can you do a homecoming float?
Sure.
Yeah?
Question mark.
That would be
We'll find out.
amazing. Homecoming float. That'd be really cute.
When you said we're going to segue, I was imagining a segue.
Oh.
No, that doesn't make sense, though.
But one of these days I'll have you do a segue. Yeah. So yeah, he's going to pop in that trailer and then we will be right back to discuss said movie. So we'll be right back.
Isn't it wonderful? We're all finally having ourselves a real homecoming around here again.
To our last homecoming.
A new beginning?
I give you your queen.
He was a serial killer.
If there's a spill, I'll page you. Otherwise, stay out of sight.
Scary movies in my place. Stupid kid.
And we're back. Mr. Newly Dead has something white in his hands and it looks like a piece of paper. Does that mean that's your notes?
It is.
All
So
right.
whenever we watch a film, I will take notes digitally, print them out. At the end of the year, Mrs. Newly Dead will collect all the digital versions. She will put them onto our aforementioned website. You can check out the last 3 years that are there right now. So if you want to see behind the scenes, all the information about the film, thoughts, processes, etc. I don't know what I'm saying. It's all there, and this year's 2026 will be up there at the end of the year. This gives us basically a guideline so we kind of know where we're at and what happened. Mrs. Newly Dead also is committed to taking notes this year, and this is her second year of maintaining a 100%
Hundo.
battering average. Battering?
Yes, battering.
Battering
And
average.
battering people.
Speaking of having difficulty, this guy's having trouble talking too. So at this point, I'm going to show her what I did. So usually we'll both kind of draw something while we're doing stuff. You can ignore this one. That's just me commenting on what was going on. But
Oh, yeah.
that is all I drew. Just kind of a
Little
weird
abstract-y kind
digital
of
looking skull. thing.
stylized skull. I also drew a
and
skull.
crossbow. You did. Why did you do a skull too?
I don't know.
You did one without teeth. I did. A whole
Mine
one
has
usually.
teeth.
Without a jaw. Usually
Yeah.
I do the no jaw. But I did a whole one, and she did one with just no jaw.
I also did the fireman.
The killer.
I'm a murderer.
It's like that George Strait song, The Fireman. Wait, no, that was the mailman. Was it? I think it was the mailman. Anyway,
All right.
going back to my roots.
Yes.
All right. So, Bloody Homecoming is from 2013, as she mentioned previously, currently sitting at 3.7 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. We'll figure out if that's where we sit as well. This is directed by Brian C. Weed, not as in like C, as in like the letter C.
Seaweed.
Seaweed, yeah. Who is known for this? So a little bit of TV and one short film. Done. That's it. In 13 years.
His magnum opus.
I guess this is his magnum opus. This is written by Jake Helgren. Helgren. No, it's one E. Helgren. Who is known for Terror Birds, which is not to be confused with the Birdemic movies.
Oh.
Psycho Stripper, which makes sense when you see this movie that would fall in line with that. Fatal Fandom. Sounds like a Lifetime movie. And something called Killer Dream Home. And then so many Christmas movies, I decided not to name any of them because they're just like, as we found that if you make low budget or independent horror, a lot of times you also make Christmas movies like crazy. And
Like crazy.
this guy has written a lot of Christmas movies. Just look him up. Jake, Helgren. You will see all the ones that I didn't write down. So this stars Jim Tavare, which oddly enough, you mentioned it when the credits popped up. He is the janitor. And you're like, why is the janitor getting top billing? You're about to find out.
Oh.
So he was in two of the Killjoy movies, which is a pretty well-known independent slasher franchise about a killer clown that is available through, is it on Makeflix or SRS Cinema? I forget, one of those two. He was in The Houses That October Built, which is a found footage movie that I really didn't care for that much when I first saw it. I haven't seen the sequel, but a lot of people love it. He was in I Spit on Your Grave, Deja Vu, which is a direct sequel by Mir Zachi, who did the original I Spit on Your Grave. He was in something called Dances with Werewolves. And he was in Harry Potter and A Prisoner of Azkaban.
Was he a Dementor?
I don't know, but he was in the film, and I was like, holy crap. Okay, well, I got to mention that. So then we've got Ray Latt. Is another one of our stars. She is known for Nudist Colony of the Dead, which at some point will probably end up on our feed.
Hopefully we'll find it in the wild.
Probably. She was in I Chance to Dance. The reason I'm saying that is because it looks like 1 and 2, but it's I Chance to Dance. Something called Forbidden Fruit. Honeymoon from Hell. And I really got to stop using acronyms because I don't know what this acronym is for. ZOR Ice Age. So I'll look it up and I'll put it up here because I don't remember what it was. Then we've got Lexi Giovagnoli, Giovagnoli. It's a heck of a last name. Maybe. Who was in Crazy Stupid Love. Yep. The Steve Carell movie. Varsity Blood, which I assume came out after Varsity Blues and was a riff on that. The 2016 All Hallows Eve, not to be confused with the original one that introduced the world to Art the Clown. Wasn't the first Art the Clown appearance, but the one that most people know. And A Fishtail. And then finally, we have Bo Harris, who has probably got the most credits for movies that people would know. Who was in Stepmom from Hell, which that one is the giveaway. But they were also in the True Grit remake with Jeff Bridges. Stop Loss, which was like a post-war film, I want to say, maybe. I don't remember. And then Planet Terror, the half of the Grindhouse duology. I didn't actually list the girl that was in the beginning that was the one that kind of set off the whole thing in motion. I meant to add her because she has got some credits, but I forgot to because I got wrapped up in the movie.
That's okay.
So at this point, my lovely wife turns to me and she says,
"What'd you think?"
So let's talk about it, I guess.
Can I just say, like, one of these days, I really just want to be like, "What'd you think?" And then I want to be like, "This movie was amazing." There's been a couple of times where we've done that. I always have such high hopes for these movies. This movie is very problematic to me.
Like when she first saw it, she was excited. She's like, "This actually looks like it might be pretty decent." And
I mean,
that's-
I'm all for like a cheesy slasher movie.
oh yeah,
But like the way the left turn they took on this film, like I literally rewrote my final thoughts. I'm just flabbergasted.
yeah. I changed some of so what I wrote originally kind of goes like this because once again, my youngest kid decided to watch it with us, which surprised me because typically they like things to be a little bit more comedic or just really so far off the edge that it's kind of becomes funny. This was neither. There's a moment that happens, but that was about it. So it opens with weird signage, which Laura immediately said, "Oh, this is not good." Because the signage, which I think was legitimate, I don't think it was
It seemed AI-ish,
AI
but
or
this is
CGI
way
or
before
something.
AI stuff.
It looked like it was lit a little weird, but I believe the water tower kind of made me feel like maybe it was really
It almost seemed Photoshoppy.
a thing. Yeah, like if that may be true. The next thing that we noticed was that I know it's low budget, but there's lots of community theater people that are looking for jobs in film and TV. There's a lot of actors. This was filmed in Texas, pretty broad base of people. So you'd think you'd have some better actors, but I felt like they got everybody that like was in their high school production of Oklahoma and said, "Hey, you want to be in a movie?" Like it really was
Yeah, the acting was not great.
pretty rough. And then, so in the beginning, there's a group of kids, like they mentioned, they are having a side party to the homecoming because one of the guys paid off some of his buddies on the football team to basically keep them from going into the homecoming, which number one, dick move, buddy. But he wanted to get a little with his girlfriend who had wanted none of it. And after he basically tries to SA her, they lock him into the room he was in. A fire gets started. He dies in the fire. Everybody gets out. Otherwise, nobody else is hurt. And that's the beginning of the movie. So you're like, okay, revenge story, perfect setup for a
Yeah.
slasher movie. And then when they finally introduce the slasher and you see what they've chosen for their outfit, he's dressed like a fireman. Which it doesn't look menacing.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Because if you died in a fire, why would you be dressed like a fireman? I guess that's the thing, is they're saying, why wouldn't you?
Right.
It worked for the miner's uniform in My Bloody Valentine. Like that works. I think that's scary. But this, they kind of blacked out the visor. And the person that's playing the killer, which we'll get to later, is kind of short, pretty petite looking in the uniform, and is not very menacing. Like they move really fast and they look, I don't know, like in Scream, you kind of still have that, you don't know who's back there and you don't know if there's more than one. So you kind of get that, there's that sense of kind of
Yeah.
actual like fear. But this, I just felt like there was some little person dressed up in a firefighter's cosplay and was running around with the spirit stick because they had won the spirit stick, their class, and that was a point of contention. The person stole the spirit stick, sharpened it to a point, and that's what the main murder weapon is. And speaking of which, in Halloween Kills, there was a lot of outrage because all the firefighters got killed in the opening scene by Michael Myers, when they were coming to save him. But nobody got mad about this. I wonder why. Probably because it's a low budget horror
Yeah.
movie. But what were you going to say?
They did come up with some creative ways to die. So like he said, that's the spirit stick or whatever is the ultimate like weapon that gets used the most in it. To sharpen down to a point. There's just to let you know that there will be spoilers. We're spoiling it. If you've
ruining
never
this
watched
movie.
our show before, I'm sorry. If you want to watch this movie, go watch it and come back.
Yep.
But if you're okay with just hearing us ramble and rant about like a movie, this is so some of the funnier like ways to die. The person popped a balloon and then took the smallest, tiniest little chunk of balloon and just put it gently over the mouth of a kid, barely covering him. He was still breathing when they were dead. So that was one. Death by tiara. So like took the tiara off of the chick's head and then cut her head off with it.
Like
like
Slit her throat
slowly
really.
sliced it, but then like her head was in a toilet later. So
Yeah, somehow her head got
cut her head off.
Which, if you've ever been a person that's worn a tiara of any kind, not just in a homecoming court, they're plastic 99.9% of the time, unless you're like a multimillionaire and you can buy a real one.
Yes. And then there was Death by Bleachers, which was a slow kill. And there was like this much room for the guy to be like crouched in, and like he died. Like all of a sudden blood just comes out of the bottom of the bleachers. Like it wasn't even all the way collapsed all the way. So like, yeah, problematic death.
Probably would have more likely died of lockjaw or something.
If they would have executed them a little bit better, like maybe you pop the balloon and then you take the whole balloon and then put it over the kid's head or something. Maybe the tiara, you break a piece of it and show that it's like a super sharp piece of glass, but it was literally just like this not even pointy plastic tiara that was on her head.
Yeah, because he broke it when he pulled it off her.
That's and then the bleachers again, like they could have done it a different way. Like maybe his leg got caught and then like it cuts it and like
it's his femoral artery or something.
Yeah, something. But it was just
get a little more creative,
right? It was fun yelling at the screen, that's for sure.
Well, and the balloon thing, like they made a point when the kids go back to this lounge to drink and have a toast before they go back to the dance. And 3 years later, when they're all about to graduate, the one kid that's like the class president, who's one of the leads, sort of. Well, not really. He dies, but he's the one who gets balloon death. But he talks about how I did all the decorations, and then as a way of saying good job to myself, I made this balloon with the letters and stuff. And they made a real point of, and I'm like, why are they focusing on this balloon so much? And
that's how he dies.
We realized it was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
The only part that we really all laughed at and we actually rewound, there's a scene where a girl's in the back of the truck. She's just got done making love to her boyfriend. Her boyfriend gets killed.
Oh, that's when she says, touchdown!
Right. Oh, yeah, that's why I said that. She said touchdown. Oh, God. She says, yeah, touchdown. The guy gets up. He's telling her he loves her. She won't say it back. She gets kind of mad. He gets killed by the firefighter guy.
Like right in front of her, like staked, And
then she goes to climb out of a pickup truck. Now, if you've ever been in the back of a pickup truck, and I'm not talking like a big giant, like huge modified pickup truck, just a standard pickup truck, getting from the back of the bed to get down is not a very far, couple of feet maybe.
Right.
She kind of hops out of it slowly, and her ankle breaks when she gets to the ground.
Well, her foot hits the ground, and then it goes...
And then she screams, and then she can't walk. And then, of course, the firefighter kills her. And it's like, we rewound it, and we just were laughing because we're like, she'd have to be getting out of like a monster truck for that to maybe happen. And granted, she had kind of heelish boots on. So she
was little kitten heels.
But yeah, they were not like anything to write home about. The music was dull and uninspired.
I said pretty bad music.
Yeah, like the plot.
Yeah.
I didn't care who did it, to be honest. We were making guesses, but the obvious choice was not what they went with. Everybody in this movie is not a good person. Like, the principal is a...
pedophile.
Yep. And his... we'll get to that in a second. Everybody in this movie is, like, creepy. So I think they're trying to throw you red herrings, but what it's doing is making you feel like you're kind of dirty. And you shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah,
so,
I wrote pedophiles, bad pervy yucks. There's some gross ass people in this film. The principal is disgusting, as are the other adults. My stepkid, his kid, made it a point to say, why do they always have to have teens having sex kind of a thing? Like, you would think it'd be uncomfortable to like direct a teenager having sex. Like, why don't you just make them college age? At least then they're over 18. I was like, good point, man.
Which in the 70s and the 80s, whether it be adult films, whether it be horror films, whether it be teen sex comedies, 90% of the time they were high school kids. Now, granted, they were typically suggesting they were 18, about to graduate, but not always. There were occasions where they were 17.
Like in this one, they're freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah. And there is one shower scene that they threw in there for some unknown reason. There's no nudity in the rest of the film except that one part. And the person they got for the shower scene is actually an adult film star, and that was her only scene in the film.
Yeah.
Just to show her assets. Why would you do it? But I mean, my kid was right, especially nowadays. You think they would maybe move the age up because there's still homecoming, maybe not a dance, but there's still things that happen at college that would maybe, anyway. So the ending, we should get to that. So up to this point, I'm like, okay, is this terribly awful or is this just awfully terrible? And then they get to the scene where it's happened in a lot of movies. The killer gathers all the corpses into one room, whether it's at a table or a circle or whatever.
Big reveal.
And they give their big speech about who I am and what I did and why I did it. And there's one girl left and the other girl has disappeared and they don't know where she is, but there's one other girl that's alive that ends up saving the day ultimately, kind of. But she's telling the girl that's still alive in there, I just gave it away, but they take off the fireman's uniform and it's the principal's wife.
Who's the literature teacher.
Yeah. Who apparently, the boy that died in the fire, because they make you think it's his dad, who's the sheriff, was having a affair with the principal's or wife, and he was 17.
No, he was a sophomore.
Sophomore, 16.
15.
Then?
You're 15 when you're a sophomore.
He was a kid, and
You can't drive at that point.
she is murdering everybody that was involved in this because she blames them for the death of her teenage
Of her
lover.
beloved teenage lover. And she has this big, long speech about, oh, my husband cheats on me at left and right with teens.
Students, yeah.
Students. And she's like, and no one thought that, a good-looking young boy would like, an older woman. Well, you're wrong. And she goes on this long speech, and I'm changing my freaking opinion because, I was like, okay, well, this is kind of like Scream, whatever. It would have been much, much, much more effective and much more. I'm not going to throw up in my mouth a little bit if it was another student or even the father.
The boy never died. I said maybe the boy didn't die and the dad was keeping him in the house away from everybody.
Yeah.
Because he was so burned that they didn't want him to go through a bunch of bullying or something.
Something.
Or it was the dad, which would have been the obvious killer, but...
Why did it have to be the literature teacher?
And her husband was the same. He was specifically perving on the girl with
queen.
48 teeth.
Yeah. She
and
had a lot of teeth.
Yeah. She had more teeth in her mouth than she should have. But anyway, so yeah, I went the same way and my kid was like, okay. And he stuck it out, to be fair. They watched it to the end. They didn't get up and leave. But then they kill her. The principal dies too. The last two girls make it out alive. They cut to a scene where it's graduation day. They're walking away to the graduation and somebody in jeans and tennis shoes that you're led to believe, because they don't have any fingernail polish or anything, that context cues make you think it's a boy, but who knows? They walk up with the spirit stick and they're in a graduation uniform and you only see them from behind. You don't ever see anything above the waist. And that's the end.
But it's this pointy spirit stick.
Yeah. They're like, okay, we're setting this up for a sequel, and thank God that never happened.
Gross.
Because who else is going to get essayed to make this?
So what are your final thoughts?
All right. So this went from kind of fun, funny, then went gross, balls.
Yeah. I said, wannabe Scream film. That was my first initial thing. And then I changed the ending part where I said, okay, so I had a different thought. But I changed it when I saw the killer. Gross. Don't see this movie.
Yeah. I think I've got one thing that may throw a little wrench in this, but go ahead.
Yeah. So out of $5 or less, how much would you pay or have them pay you to rewatch this movie?
The only reason I gave this anything at all, I gave it 50 cents, but the only reason I did that was for the ankle scene, because it was so funny that we rewound it. I figured I have to give them something for that. But the rest of it, I felt dirty even giving it that, but...
Yeah, I gave it negative $2 million.
Okay.
If you pay me $2 million, I will rewatch this piece of crap.
Yeah, I'm not rewatching it for 50 cents, but if you want to see something funny, just fast forward to that spot, watch it, and then turn it off.
Just don't make it all pedophiles, man.
Yeah, why?
I don't want to see principals or teachers macking on students.
Well, and part of the problem is with a lot of slasher movies, ultimately the people like us that are watching it, not us specifically, but the viewer... A lot of times they root for the slasher, especially in the Scream movies. You're kind of like, oh, get them, Ghostface, especially if they're picking off people that are jerks.
But the kid that died in the beginning was like
Oh, he was
trying to assault another person.
He was a bad person.
So
too.
he was bad to begin with. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, who wants to avenge the death of a kid who's like trying to like
Who's a
essay someone?
yeah,
Yeah. It was
So anyway.
bad. So
and more bad.
if they don't want to watch this, what do you recommend instead?
Well, originally I was going to mention Scream 2 as a possible contender, and I'm just going to throw that out there that it does kind of fit the mold, but I decided not to go that route. But it does feel very similar because of Laurie Metcalf's part, but she wasn't a creeper. Instead, I'm going with 1980s Prom Night because it feels like a lot more of a spiritual, like what they were maybe going for. There's a prom. There's a person that was abused and tortured, not abused, but they were bullied. They accidentally died. And then somebody is either that person or someone else, I don't want to ruin the movie for you, is killing all the people involved with it on prom night. And so it's a much more effective way of doing this similar story without all the grossness.
Yeah.
So
All right. So what are we watching next week?
we are watching let's see.
Oh, I'm blowing this mother. Oh, I almost said an F word. This MF. I'm going to blow this MF up. Ready?
Watching the third movie.
Stop making me feel bad.
No, I was making a face because I knew it was going to explode really. Yeah, that one. That was from 1959.
All right. Oh, we're on the Attack of the Killer Bees 10 movie collection. It's been a hot minute since we've been on this one. These are all really old movies from 1959. So, what?
No, I was just saying from 1959. Yeah. I was giving you yeah.
Oh, you were looking at me like.
Nope.
The giant. Is it Gila monster? Gila
monster,
monster?
yeah.
I never know how to say it.
Yeah.
Gila.
It's Gila monster.
Gila monster.
I mean, I guess you could say.
I said
Gila
monster.
but I'm pretty sure it's Gila monster.
Gila monster. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I know you're right because I was questioning it. All right, a small town in Texas finds itself under attack from a hungry, filthy. Oh wait, I said filthy.
It's so dirty. Dirty Gila monster.
A hungry, 50-foot long Gila monster, searching for the countryside for food, human or otherwise.
Now, I'm excited about this. Obviously, if you've watched the show, you know my love for 50s monster movies. But I have a little mini poster of this on the wall at work or in my cubicle. I have a bunch of these types of posters, but I have this one specifically sitting right behind me, and I see it every morning when I come in. I put my bag down, and it's right next to where my bag goes. So I see it every day, and I've been wanting to see it.
There are some interesting movies on here.
I'm very excited.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, as always.
And it guaranteed 0 essay in the giant Gila monster.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Like I said, thank you very much for watching us. And until next week.
Keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Doesn't mean you go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.
What orders do you have for us, my bony wonder?
Shut up.
Very well.